Okay, so a couple of things you have to know, that when you're here at Summit and when you're in the real world, you can't go to work dressed like this. I'm wearing tennis shoes, blue jeans, a shirt. What's wrong with this picture? Couple of things. Number one, my dollar store glasses are going to need to have safety glasses. So if you've got safety glasses or if you've got cover glasses, you're going to need them. And we expect that you're always wearing them when you're here in the shop, because it's critical that we protect our eyes. And stupid stuff happens, so we'll get you safety glasses. We'll also get you glasses that will go over. If you wear lenses, we'll get you glasses that will go over those. So you've got the ability to see plus the ability to protect the glasses, so you don't want anything shattering in your eyes. That should seem obvious, but it's really important. And I hate hard hats. I hate them, I hate them, I hate them. But guess what? They protect your noggin. As a result, we're expecting that you will wear hard hats. You're also going to need, in real life, a shoe that works. Now, some jobs may require steel toes. Most don't, but they are going to require a hard toe. And we want to make sure that we've got the right footwear on as well. And these type of boots come up to the mid-calf. They can be a little bit annoying, but they're great for cold weather work. I wore them through the winter, love them, but not tennis shoes. You're going to want these. Now, on residential sites, they're typically not nearly as nervous about OSHA regulations because they don't anticipate seeing an inspector. And I know plenty of carpenters who actually, when they're walking walls or walking roofs, they'll wear a really grippy tennis shoe because they're up on those kind of locations. Not here. Here you have to pay attention to our expectations that you work OSHA safe. The other thing that you have to pay attention to is we want to make sure that we're always alert to where people are, and the most visible way to see that is to give them kind of a neon green vest. So you'll be wearing vests whenever you're here on site. In the summertime when it's hot, you're still wearing a vest. Nobody's going, bare-chested to wander around. Doesn't make sense, doesn't work, and it's not permitted. So you have to have your safety vest on. And then obviously there are options. Well, if you've got inclement weather and you got rain, still you can take a safety jacket, wear that. This one is not my size, but I like the idea of being able to be very comfortable and relaxed. It's like jammies in terms of safety gear because it's huge, but it keeps the water off, keeps you safe, and lets everybody know there's a human because you see the bright yellow moving toward you. And then the last thing we want to make sure you're understanding is we expect you to wear gloves. We're protecting our hands from splinters when we're outside in the field. These are a grip surface. They're not expensive, but they're really, really, really helpful. And they're one size fits all basically, or they're inverted from left to right hand.
Can't wear in the shop.
So this, in the shop, you're going to go barehanded. We don't want you wearing these because you can't feel and grip tools. So you've got to have these outside, but not inside. All does that make sense? All right, appreciate that.
What about earplugs, Mr. Strand?
Earplugs are a great thing. I didn't know a thing about them when I was a kid going into the construction business. And as a result, nerve deafness in my right ear is more significant than ear deafness in my left because of sawing from my right hand. So always make sure that when you're, especially with loud tools, you've got a pair of earplugs in place. A lot of different options with these. They're the throwaway version like these. You're going to twist and insert. Or you can get a section that actually goes in and they're on a little bit of a plastic harness and then a little rope around your neck, and that'll, if they fall out, so you can pull them out, you'll be able to continue to hear and be protected. And in the COVID-19 world that we're living in, it's a little bit more challenging to find masks. But when you're working in a dusty environment, you're going to have a mask on. We want you to have a respirator when you're in shop, when you're doing dusty work. Really important when you're working around the router, around the table saws. And again, you just have to understand that you only get the one body and they don't have replacement lungs just yet. So making sure you're being smart, really, really important here. Regardless of pathogenic transferable viruses, this is still an essential when you're working alongside dusty materials. And if you're cutting fiber cement, for example, now OSHA protocol requires you to be masked when you cut those kind of things. When you're mixing dry powdered concrete, you're required to be masked when you mix those things. So there are some key protocols to understand regarding being protected. And if we Just get used to the idea that that's the expectation. When you walk in, you'll know it. And as a result, we want to be harassing you every time we see you not properly prepared, properly dressed, or properly equipped.
Saggies.
Make sense?
Saggies.
Oh, yeah. And Beth just mentioned saggies. Your pants stay up at your waist. There's no hip drop. And in the real world of expectations in the marketplace, what might work in your neighborhood or out on the street does not work on the job site. No saggies, and even baggies that are dropping or hanging down, you will be pull them up and tighten them up. We have an expectation because from a safety standpoint, they're dangerous. They can catch on your table, they can catch on a tool, they can catch on your belt. They just don't work in the real world of construction from a safety standpoint, much less that when you're out among the public, there's an expectation of your decorum, of how you present yourself as a professional. And most employers want people that will represent their company really, really effectively. And you can't just decide, well, this is my brand, this is how I look. When you're hired by a company, it's their brand that matters, not your brand that matters. Does that make sense? All right, so I want to encourage you to take advantage of understanding what the expectations are so that once we're on site here, we don't have to be fighting with you about it. Okay? Thanks.